EJ, EJ, always. EJ, EJ, always. EJ, EJ, always. EJ, EJ, always.
Hey everybody, it's your Uncle EJ, always your mother's brother and your grandmother's good-looking son and your grandmother's good-looking son. Math Hopper went live tonight. My head does not have a hat on it. And here's what we know. We know they had smoothies. She got in a cab. She took a shower. She took some clothes home. We don't know nothing. We tuned in. Math told us to tune in to hear truth. And we didn't hear anything. We heard Math be upset at us all for being in the live that he invited us to. He was upset that he had 5,000 people watching as opposed to the 200 to 1,000 that he usually has. Of course, everyone knows if you have a car wreck, people are going to line up to see that shit. Now, I didn't necessarily expect to hear anything from him except for that he told us we were going to hear the truth. So I went there expecting to hear that. Instead, I heard the Pop Juice album, some other stuff that he was working on. It was Math Hoffa versus Math Hoffa. I don't know, but we listened to a bunch of songs. Math chastised us for being in there for the wrong reason, and then commenced to say that the last thing he remembered of her was putting her in a cab, that they had smoothies together. Excuse me. She met his mom. She took a shower. They had smoothies together. She couldn't choose a flavor smoothie, so he left her, and then somehow she gave him a kiss on the cheek and got in the cab. What Math did not tell us was why she was there. Did they have a sexual relationship? Why was she using the shower? Did they spend the night together? Were they just friends? The purpose of her being there? Was there any intercourse? Was there anything that gave him the implication that after he left and put her in a cab that he paid for and didn't talk to her for a week, that she would now be saying that he raped her? If she did indeed take a shower, how did she even possibly get a rape kit that would even have his DNA in it? If that's still the same question, it just left a bunch of answers. But here's my thing. When you claim something extraordinary, and I know a lot of the ladies of the BRC, feel hurt. They feel like men are sticking up for Math Hoffa, and I'm not sticking up for Math Hoffa. I don't know. I still don't know what the hell is going on. I know we have a woman that accused a man of rape, and a man who basically saying, they were together, they did have a smoothie, he met his mom, but he left us with a whole bunch of more questions. But the thing is this, she's making the claim. She tagged JC and numerous battle rappers, Beef, Smack, all these battle rappers. She put us in the middle of this. So if you're making this claim and you're going to put this man's name out there, if you're going to put his brand out there, if you're going to put his reputation out there, the onus is on you to prove what you're saying. If you've had conversations with police, if Math has had conversations with police, if you have conversations that are recorded, or you have receipts to back up what you say, you need to show us something. You can't simply make a claim and expect for us to just all come rah-rah to your rescue. I know there are situations where men do take advantage of women. I know there are situations where men are sexual predators. I know there are situations where men do rape women. But I know there's also situations where women do lie. I know there's situations where women do gold dig. I know there's situations where men do seek out men who have, a certain standing in order to take advantage of them. These things happen on both sides. From either one of these two parties, I haven't got anything that's sufficient enough to make a logical conclusion on what the hell happened or even when it happened. You got some people blogging talking about that the police went to her and talked to her and then came and talked to Math and then came back, talked to her. And Math is saying he never even talked to police, but these people are supposedly taking up for Math, saying they got statements that say to the contrary. Where is that proof? You got people saying that somehow Bonnie Godiva was involved. Where's that proof? How does she get put into this? You got people that saying Beasley got something to do with it. Where's that proof? What does he have to do with it? Because Beasley doesn't like something, he's going to commission someone to yell rape at that person? That's what the hell we doing? That's the stretch we doing? Like, none of this shit makes no sense. And I apologize to the young lady who's obviously hurting and whose story sounds heartfelt and may very well be true. But if it is, you have to prove that point. You have to give us something to go on, because we're not just going to go attack this man and flame him up based on you just saying something. If you were involved with another man and a woman came up to you and said, hey, me and your man have been sleeping together, you ask your man and he says, no, we haven't. At that point, the onus is on that lady to prove that somehow your man and her have been having a sexual relationship. It's not on him anymore. So even though math didn't satisfy a lot of things that I wanted him to satisfy or didn't answer, it's not up to him to prove that he did not rape anyone, or we would have to prove that shit to people all day long. If you have been raped, if you have been sexually assaulted, if you have been touched, whatever has been done to you, you need to tell someone in order to prove that that has happened. You can't simply yell fire in a theater. You can't. You can't. And I don't care. Well, let me take that back. I do care that some of the women in the BRC are coming from a place of hurt, coming from their own experiences. But do not project your experience into this situation and therefore somehow find her credible just because she says something, just because you are credible. That doesn't make her credible. Just because she's a woman doesn't make her credible. That doesn't make sense either. So while we're not going to keep it, we're going to keep it skunk buck funky like I exactly said I was. Like, I don't know what the hell that was with Math Hoffa. I can't speak to why he didn't actually give us something more than saying that he had smoothies and she took a shower at his house. I don't know. So many more questions to answer. But still, one of the main questions is he said he never spoke to police or talked to detectives. So, Kiki, if you have information that says he spoke to detectives or talked to police, that would show right there, one, he's lying about that. So he's probably lying about other things. But if you don't even show us that, and the people who are championing your cause saying that you don't have anything to prove, I'm sorry, but y'all can't be further from the truth. You can't just accuse people of these things without having some form of proof. You know, if Big K had come out and said Adi Boom was a snitch and never had any paperwork, they might be fighting right now. You would have a lot of people that would be upset with Big K because he would just straight say something and not having anything to back it up on allegations that are so strong that can affect someone's life and livelihood. You can't just throw that shit out there like that and hope that the shit sticks on the wall. You can't. It's a lot of questions that need to be answered. She said she was celibate, but now people are assuming because she took a shower at Matt's house or wherever they were, that they had sex. How did y'all get that reach? Matt didn't say they had sex. Matt didn't even say they slept together. Matt didn't even say she spent the night. He just said she met her mother, she took a shower, she took some shorts and her shirt home. They had smoothies. She kissed him on the cheek. She got in the cab. He paid for the cab. That's all. That's all. If y'all heard something else, please let me know. Please share it in the comment section. Subscribe, like, comment. Please tell me if you heard something different. Please tell me if any of y'all heard some type of factual information that isn't speculation, that isn't conjecture, that isn't rumor, that isn't innuendo, that is somehow put a light on any one of these persons' side. I'm waiting. Who said something groundbreaking and earth-shattering and gave us a receipt that said, hey, he did talk to police, he's a liar. Or, hey, no, she did do this, she's a liar. Nothing. Nothing. Gentlemen, slut shaming, thought shaming, trying to tell some girl what to do with her vagina is not going to make your case for you either. Woman can do whatever she wants to do with her cootie cat. You ain't got no charge. I don't care if you're married to her, go with her, engaged with her, whatever. She can do exactly what she wants to with her vagina. Don't make the rules different for you. She can screw you 42 times, and on the 43rd time, she says, no, nigga, you can't have it. And if you take it, that's rape. I don't care how many times you've had it before. It works both ways. If someone that I find undesirable takes my... if I get raped by a woman, that is what it is. It doesn't change that. It doesn't change that. Kiki, you have some things that you need to present, because if you had done all of this quietly and in the background, there would be nothing that we could say until finally we got court documents, the state versus Justin, I can't remember your last name, Math. You know, there were ways that you could have went about defending yourself, or to get defense for yourself, or to get an attorney for yourself. One, you don't have to get an attorney for you when the DA is your prosecutor. You don't need an attorney. He's prosecuting. The defendant needs an attorney. What you need an attorney for is for a civil suit. That means money. That doesn't look good when you're talking about your Cash App and you need an attorney for a civil suit. A civil suit does not require the same type of reasonable doubt that a legal court system, that a government court system or state court system does. It's not the same burden of proof. So if you want us to sympathize with you, if you want us to empathize with you and put ourselves into your situation and find fault with the man that you're alleging these allegations, then you have to give us something else to go on. Because I am not standing in a position, I don't care whether it's man, woman, whatever species that it is, and charge somebody with something like this and I don't have anything to go on. I'm not going to crucify Math Hoffa just because you say he did something. And on the same regard, if you come out with something that says he did do something, I'm riding for right. I'm riding for what should be the best outcome, or the correct outcome, or quote unquote justice, as we might call it. But we didn't ask for none of this to be put on our table. You did this, Kiki. And I'm not blaming you for what you're doing, but there's a way to go about doing it. You just can't put somebody's name out here and then say, well, it is what it is. And just let it all simmer and let everything go to hell while you're deciding to drop your receipts. It's simple, drop the receipts. Give us a reason to believe you. Because if not, I'm going to think you're a liar. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that people have to prove what they say. I'm sorry. If somebody comes up to me and tells me there's space aliens, it's not on me to prove that there aren't aliens. It's on you to prove that you saw aliens. If you saw flying donkeys, I'm not going to go on a big charter mission to prove there are no flying donkeys. Show me your proof. Show me your proof. Man, y'all stop playing with us. Stop playing. We ain't asked for none of this bull crap. We ain't asked for none of it. I was saying to myself today, could we just go back to 2017, 2016? Boom. Wardrobe change. But anyway, let's keep going. Not sure where I left off because I started recording this morning, and I'm continuing this afternoon because we've got some other updated, and I wouldn't call it information. I would call it a bunch of misinformation. But anyway, here's what's happening. People are choosing sides based on their experiences. And I suffice it to say that a lot of you wouldn't be very good judges. And the reason why is because after this 24 hours of a news cycle that we've had, just about, maybe a little bit over, no one has said anything different. You have an accused and you have an accuser. No one's put forth any evidence of their case or their claim yet. Kiki says she has evidence that she hasn't presented. Math says he has text messages where she was sending him where she sounded unstable. But no one has presented any evidence. You just have two stories. Well, you have one story and then you have part of a story. But here's what people are doing. As women or as victims, or people, let me rephrase that, as women who have been victims, some of you are putting your personal experience, you're projecting it into the situation, right? And by that, you're saying, since this has happened to me, that it has to be happening to her because she shed tears and she cried and she was so emotional. Therefore, it must have had to happen, right? But on the same token, the men or people who have been in situations where the other person wasn't so savory and they would do things like this to take advantage of opportunities or to misrepresent something that happened. Lots of people have run into those type of women, those type of men. So those people are projecting that onto Math Hoffa. Like, clearly, if somebody's done me wrong, lied on me, took advantage of me, misrepresented me, damaged my name because I'm coming up, clearly there are many examples out of that. So that must be this. I want to encourage everybody to take a step back and realize that no one has presented evidence. You guys are talking about scenarios that involve Bonnie Godiva and Beasley. It's a bunch of reaching. It's a bunch of, man, it's like gossip at the water cooler. You see this stuff on Twitter, you're like, where the hell did that come from? Speaking of where the hell did that come from, where the fuck did ROMEDumbMV come from? And what the fuck is he talking about? Oh, I talked to a URL staff member. Why, that's vague as fuck, sir. Which staff member did you talk to? Well, I got a phone call at 3:25 telling me that they weren't involved in a non and they had nothing to do with it. And somehow that let you jump off a goddamn cliff and say that URL is no longer associating themselves with Math Hoffa. And they released a statement. Where do you niggas get this dumb shit from? Like, it's no wonder that there are battle rap fans that think all of the bloggers are a bunch of goddamn weirdos when you niggas do dumb shit like that. And sometimes stuff is ignorant. You don't know any better. The stuff that ROMEDumbMV is doing, that's dumb. That's dumb. Clearly, we all must be bloggers because we're not journalists. Because what journalists do is they would call, they would get somebody on the record. They would say, well, man, hey, clearly that's news. Do you have actual statement from URL saying this? This isn't just hearsay. This isn't word of mouth. This is on the record. Can I put your name in this? But that's not what happened. You took a far stretch to talk about a statement and URLs not fucking with Math Hoffa no more. Then you had to backtrack it like an hour ago. Well, he called me, and you had that same goofy ass smile you had on your face after Jim's popped you upside your head, and you was talking about how you would have did this and you would have did that. Young ladies, please cover your ears right now for just a second. I don't want y'all to get the wrong impression of me. Just please bear with me for just a second. Just cover your ears, hum a little song, sing some Beyonce, something like that. But let me tell a lot of you niggas something. A lot of you niggas is weak as fuck. Weak as fuck. Why you say that, EJ? You don't know me. I don't know you. But the characterization of how you act just because some young lady that's pretty sheds tears, she therefore must be telling the truth, and Math Hoffa's a piece of shit accordingly. Bro, is this the first time y'all saw a pretty girl cry? Does that mean it's truth? Just because she cries, does that mean that it's true? I got children. When I was raising them, do you know why they would cry? Sometimes they would cry just because they was in trouble in line. You know how many girlfriends I've had? How many women I've been involved with, been in relationships with? They all didn't just cry because they were wronged. Sometimes they cried when they were way wrong. When they were wrong. Sometimes they lied. Sometimes other times they manipulated situations. So, as a grown-ass man over 40 years old, I'm not going to sit here and let either occur for either parties. Like, nothing has come out to say that Math Hoffa has done what she said, and nothing has come out to say any different. But here's what has happened. She says she has evidence. Release it, please, young lady. Okay, ladies, y'all can take your hands off your ears now. Young ladies, just because another young lady says something is true and sheds tears doesn't make it so. It doesn't. And I'm sorry, it does not matter if the situation happened to you for this moment. Why? Because there's no evidence. If you want to tell your cousin's baby sister something that somebody did something you never have to prove it, I guess that's between y'all. But when you tag Beasley and you tag bloggers and you tag people in the BRC and you do an Instagram and talk about why you haven't been in the BRC and you wanted to answer questions and you say you have evidence and receipts to prove your point, you got to prove that point. You got to prove that point. You have to. I'm really upset with the both of you. And I don't even know either one of you. I'm upset with you, young lady, because if this happened to you, you're going about this the wrong way. If you're going to come out the way you come out, drop the receipts all at the same time so we can make judgment then. But don't play this waiting game. Don't play the game of cash at me. Donate to my cause now. Do you want justice or do you want money? Because if you want justice, you don't need an attorney for that unless you're going to sue the state of New York or wherever this offense occurred. The only reason you would need an attorney is for a civil suit. And in a civil suit, you don't have to prove the same things as you do when you're being prosecuted by the state. The state, you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil court, all it takes is a little bit. Remember OJ was innocent, but still pays millions because of his civil suit. So you have a man's career, livelihood, you got children, you got all this stuff in limbo. And if it's taking you a year to get to this process, then now is the time to share. You put it out there in front of all of us because we didn't know what happened. We didn't know. So if you're putting this all out there for the see, you're going to call a man out to the carpet and say that a man is a rapist and say that he's this. Prove it. It's not fair to someone who is being accused of something to not know what's being presented against them. If you go into a store and steal something out of Walmart, you go to a store and steal something out of Walmart, when they do what they do, pull you out or whatever, they're going to prove that you were stealing. They'll be like, yo, can you empty your pockets? Empty your bag. And take that goddamn summer sausage out your sock. Oh, I don't have anything. What are you talking about? Oh, no, so we got you right here on camera. You know what I'm saying? They're going to prove it to you. You won't just be accused. There's a lot of scenarios that could have played out. You could have went to the police. They didn't see enough evidence throughout the case. You could have went to the police. Case is still open. You feel that it's been open for much too long. And so you feel like you haven't got justice. So you want something to be done now. So you're moving forward and you want to present the evidence that you got. Or the case could be closed. The officers never felt like there was any reason to even question Math Hoffa. But here's what we do know. You said you got receipts. You said Math Hoffa talked to the police or talked to the detective. Math Hoffa said on his live that he didn't talk to police or talk to detectives. So if you just let us hear the audio conversation of him talking to a detective, that'll prove he's a liar. It's cut and dry. We don't even have to know everything. We don't even have to know any more details. And Math, bro, either you say nothing and say, I'm letting my lawyer handle that. Or when you have everybody show up at your place for the wonderful news of the truth, you got to give them the truth, bro. You gave us smoothies and LOM shorts and Pac juice shirts. Met your mother. Got smoothies, got in the cab, got a kiss goodbye. What happened before then, Math? That's what we came to hear. Does she have is there any resemblance of why she would be saying these things? Why was she taking the shower? Did y'all have relations? Did y'all not have relations? Were y'all in an intimate relationship? Were y'all not in an intimate relationship? These text messages that you have, do they say that, hey, I don't know what's wrong with you. I ain't been able to talk for like a week, but I felt like you took something from me or that you violated me? Are those what those text messages say? Or are those text messages say, I thought we were supposed to be together and now we can't, and you know, blah, blah, blah. Woo, woo, woo. These are the questions that we wanted to know. These are how we would have been able to make an objective decision upon what we're hearing from two different people that evidently everyone thinks are credible. You have people that will strongly say there's no way that Math Hoffa would do anything like this. You know what I mean? The same dude that stood up for somebody's sister who got something done like that to her, he wouldn't do something like this. And you have other people that say Kiki is a stand-up girl and she would never say anything like this. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. I don't believe nobody till somebody show me some proof. She's sketchy. She putting up cash apps. She's not dropping receipts. Math looking sketchy because he had us all go to the live and he didn't tell us nothing. You know, I know you feel a certain way because you got like 80 times the people that you normally have in there. Excuse me, not 8 times, but 4 times the people that you normally have in the chat. But that's to be expected. You know, it dropped like the last episode of Power. Like, we waiting to see what happened. Who killed Jamie? Did Kiki get raped? Coming up on Math Hoffa's Live at 10 o'clock. And what do we get? We had smoothies and she met my mom. Come on, Math. Both of y'all playing. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's getting beyond ridiculous now. Because I'm going to tell you, it's getting to the point. You know how as a kid you get in trouble and you might just be in a little bit of trouble, but you keep lying about a situation. So finally, when it really comes to a head, you all the way out of there. You know what I'm saying? Mom and dad is going to give your ass the business. But if you'd have just said, oh, yeah, I did that, it'd have been a little smack on the hand, you would have moved around. This is getting drawn out to where whoever is lying is going to be done. 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 Foobarred. Foobarred. I know a lot of people, you know, especially Math Hopper, has the most to lose out of all of this. The most to lose out of all of this. But we don't know the truth. And we can't assume to know the truth just because something happened to us when we were younger, or when we were going out with a girl, she did us wrong and effed our best friend, or, you know what I'm saying, took him and his money, or none of that applies to this situation until we have facts. Then it'll be easier for you to project your feelings and experiences into this situation because you'll know an actual story. Right now, we have a man that was accused of rape. That's it. Don't make it anything else that it ain't. Like leagues aren't banning Math Hoffa behind this shit because I don't know shit neither. Fucking wrong. I swear, boy, the goddamn gerbil squirrel. Anytime, bro, some major shit happens, this motherfucker pops back up on this dumb shit. Anybody with a goddamn, you know what? 15,000 of you motherfuckers like him, so whatever. 15,000 of you like him. That might be a stretch. Some of y'all might not remember you're subscribed to him. But if you do think he's a lame ass, dumb ass nigga that's always on some dumb shit, like faking his own death or saying he's at a goddamn candle vigil that he's not at, maybe you ought to unsubscribe to his goddamn channel like you asking people to unsubscribe to Math's channel. These niggas really salty, bro. This has got to be the only recognition that some of you lames have. Swear to God. So I'm going to keep waiting. And just like I told you on my last blog, we're going to wait until we hear truthful information and glean from that truth. I'm not going to project my experiences that I had with some broad when I was 27, or as a young lady that's analyzes this situation. You shouldn't project your experiences that you had with a dude when you was in high school or some other situation. You should read the facts of the matter. Stay in the moment. Just read the book. Don't add no highlights and none of that yet. Just read the book. Relax. Ain't that how you say it, King? Relax. Relax, BRC. Let it happen. Let it pop the wine bottle for all you wine drinkers. I like red wine, Pinot Noir myself. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Pour it in the glass. Swirling around. Nice color. The legs on it. All of that. Let it breathe. Then sip from real information and not weirdos just saying shit to make you tune in. Anyway, it's EJ always. WAVEGANG Radio. Shout out Pretty Money, Smoking NY, Gun Toting Democrat, all of the new subscribers. I appreciate y'all. I try to keep it 100 on here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all on purpose. I try to keep it lighthearted, but I haven't been able to keep it lighthearted with this. With these, man, it's no wonder people look at us crazy. It's no wonder people who respect themselves don't even want to call themselves like Uncle Rod don't even want to call himself a blogger, but you blog, bro. But he don't even want to call himself a blogger because niggas do such weird shit. If you want to be a journalist, your job is not to insert yourself into the news. Your job is to report the news. Now, if you're an analyst or you want to do an editorial on what you're learning, do it on the facts. Do it on the facts. Put all this conjecture, Bonnie Godiva, Beasley must have it out for math and told Kiki to, what the fuck is y'all talking about? How did y'all get to that? And then y'all look stupid when somebody like Bonnie Godiva comes out and says, what y'all need to do is quit fucking with fans. So she's basically on Math Hoffa's side. So why would she be out to get him? Oh, since they was in a relationship and broke up and she said some shit about him and he said some shit about her, clearly she's behind this. You niggas need to get back to work. And y'all making this shit come off like love and hip hop or some shit, bro. It's not that. And then these two people's particular situation isn't an indictment of the entire BRC community. There are weird Negroes wherever you go. There are shady women wherever you go who will lie on niggas. There are niggas who will take the coochie given the right circumstances. Everywhere, not just in the battle rap community. I suspect wherever there are twig and berries and vaginas, those people exist. Y'all stop. At a time when other communities are rallying behind other communities, y'all are making this divisive thing happen in the middle of the BRC, when we should be supporting other communities who are trying to do things like get justice. And let's understand one last thing before I get out of here, because this has been way long as fuck and I just been on a rant. To support Kiki or to support Math Hoffa as a friend or a fan is not an indictment on the other. Which clearly means that just because I'm cool with black people and cool with white people, hold on, wrong analogy. Just because I like grape doesn't mean I don't like cherry, right? So we can be in support of both of them. You're friends of Math Hoffa, by all means, be there for your friend. If you're friends of Kiki, by all means, be there for your friend. But if you're going to be a friend, whenever real information drops that is the objective truth of what happened to make this whole scenario play out, be a real friend and check your friend and tell them about themselves. I'm out. Monty.
EJ, always. EJ, always. EJ, always. EJ, always. EJ, always. EJ, always. Always. Representing that wave gang. EJ, always. EJ, always. EJ, always. EJ, always.
You are now rocking with
DJ Ladybug.
On the ones and twos, and just call me Monty on everything. Y'all know what it is.